Hi guys, so today we're back on handstands. We're going to look at mainly the locking out strength overhead and a bit of shoulder stability and mobility. So when we are actually extended out, we're a lot more comfortable. From there, just practice, so keep sticking with your strict pike press work that we worked on last week, and you should sort of find that your power and movement in the handstand press-ups becomes a lot smoother. Alright, this is mainly for that top position, so if you do need a pause at the top or working on that balance work, that lockout feels much smoother and much easier to maintain. Start with, we'll look at the wrists. Alright, so it tends to be an big area people struggle with, but it is the foundations of your handstand. So if you've got poor wrist mobility, and by that I mean as we rock forward, if you're getting stuck about here and you can't really get your shoulders over your hands, you're going to really struggle to get in the right position in the handstand, especially if you get your handstand push-ups. You're going to struggle when you're trying to extend up to the top and get your keep close to the wall. You'll end up finding that you keep pushing away rather than closer if you can't work on that mobility. So first one we're going to do a variation of what we've done in the past, which is just a forward lean. To make it a little bit more intense, we're going to lift one knee forward and then really lock our arms out straight and drive that weight forward through the front knee and into your hands. Alright? And just hold, have a little twist to the wrists, the elbows into the wrists whilst you're here. And if you can, bring your other knee forward. So your full center of gravity is pushing down right through your hands as far as you can. And then come back, ease off. So about 30 seconds, we're using this as a warm-up. If you're using it as a mobility drill to try and build up your wrist strength or fix an issue, try and go for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. But just before we do the actual handstand workout, or you do handstand practice, 2 to 3 sets of 30 seconds should be enough. So we're going to start off again, to show you, leaning backwards. Come forward as far as you can. Spend a little bit of time just loosening off, rocking. Try and get as far forward as you can. When you find your sticking point, so when you're max lean without your hand peeling off, bring one knee forward, put a bit more weight down through your hands. And a little twist, spend a bit more time there, 20 to 30 seconds again. And again, when you're ready, bring your second knee forward, really drive down through the hands, crank it up, twist. And then ease off slowly. And once you do, what I recommend is you spend a bit of time doing the reverse. So just either hands forward and leaning backwards, or just flat on the floor, rock side to side, just nice and gentle. So when we go that deep into a forward lean or back lean, we just want to work the reverse a little bit to keep things in balance. Alright? Then, next one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to come up onto our fists. We're going to start off on our knees, arms locked out. And all we're going to work on is coming right up, almost onto the thumbs, keep the arms locked out straight, and try and bring our weight through. When we get here, we're going to try and make sure we keep our shoulders back as far as we can. So don't do wide at the start there, but really pull them back and then push through into the floor. And we're going to roll back, try and keep the arms straight, and let the elbows bend slightly. So what we don't want to do is just as we roll, just drop. We're trying to control that shift and then gradually load through the wrists, keep the elbows down, shoulders down again, and then back up, lock the arms out, up, drive through as far as you can, pause, and back. Nice and gradual. Drive that weight down your little finger. Hold. So, a little flexion extension. Try and work on the stabilizers. If you've got wrist pain, it's going to be quite good. It might feel a bit weird, especially on the knuckles first. You might want to put a cushion down. Or if you've got carpet, try and do it on the carpet. But it's really good for mobility and stability. So the more range we can get that way as well, we should find it takes a bit of tension off going forwards and backwards. Bit of strength, bit of mobility. Next, we've got a variation of one we did in the past. So we've got the normal shoulder dislocations, which we've been doing previously. What we're going to work on today is doing a reverse grip, right? So chances are most of us, myself included, aren't going to get anywhere near as far. when we come round. The aim is, as we come round overhead, to again not let the chest and ribs pop out on that back bend. We want to keep the ribs down as much as possible, and as we lift through, we want to up through the shoulders nice and high, get as far back as we can, so you're nice and tight, really drive back and come back round. I find it very, very difficult not to let my hands peel off. Right, see if I go back, it's that external rotation. So what we try and focus on, if that's you as well, is almost going into like a false grip. So you're really going to roll your wrist round as far as you can. If you've got a wider stick or band, I'd suggest going for that. And from there, as you come round, so I'm really going to work on keeping that grip. Come up, pushing up through the shoulders as high as I can, back round as far as I can, hold for a little bit, and then come back down. And honestly, I really struggle with it. If you can get all the way around, amazing, great. Crack on with your set. So in for 12 reps or so. If you can't, come to the reverse. So imagine we came all the way around and we've got arms behind our head. So we back down here, and then we're going to lock in nice and tight again. Pull the shoulder blades back, and then lift up as far as we can. Trying to keep that false grip. Not just letting the shoulders collapse, and not just throwing the ribs out to get that extension. So just lock in nice and tight, shoulder blades back, lift up. As you come round, keep that false grip as high as you can. You should feel through the chest and bicep, opening up nicely, right? Be strict and honest about that shape. If you can, stand next to a mirror and make sure you're not getting that flinch every time, right? You'll just lose tension and won't quite get the same benefit. Right then, so next, we've got a little accessory exercise working on getting that shoulder locked out overhead and just building that little bit of stability and getting used to it being in the right place. So to begin with, all we do is just lift one arm off a weight overhead, get as far back as you can without either your bum going backwards and your back bending. Want to squeeze that bum and just roll it forward slightly, chest down, ribs down, and then press as high as we can through the shoulder. Alright? From there, all we're going to work on is just trying to move the shoulder in circles but keep it elevated. So I don't want to just swing my hand, right? I'm trying to move from the shoulder, nice and controlled, both directions, quite subtle. The movement, arm locked out, don't let it bend, and then we'll go the opposite way. So you don't need a heavy weight for this. It is just about getting warmed up, getting used to that sensation of pressing and making subtle changes with that press. If you can, do try and focus on pulling back through the shoulder as well, and then up and make these circles with that shoulder being pulled back as far as you can the full time. So I'm not just swinging the arm back to try and get there, I'm trying to pull the entire shoulder blade back without the chest lifting. Alright? Already that's starting to hurt quite a lot. It's very simple, but to work on all the little things we generally try and neglect. So I'll do both sides one set at a time, nice and steady. Just little movements, try and keep the shoulder dead close to the ear. It's going to take some time to get used to. One side's probably going to feel a lot smoother than the other. You have to keep resetting your shape. Bring those hips back in the line, pulling the ribs back down, and resetting the shoulder. Try not just to bend your head, like I keep trying to do. Nice little changes. And I'll go for about 20 circles, so 10 circles each direction, 2 to 3 sets, and you should start to get a really nice burn there. Final one, we're going to progress a little bit from what we did last week with the stick pike press, and we're going to work on adding some scapular elevations and presses in. So we've done this before with dips and with the push-up plus. So when we're on the floor, working on coming down and through, little cat-cow. We also did one-arm push-ups in the past. Today we're going to work on doing it with our feet elevated up on a platform just in the pike press. So we're not going to do the full pike. If you want to, you can add it in. There's a little bit of extra work. I'll go through that in a second. But the main focus is just getting that movement on the shoulder blades and your body stacked. So you want your feet elevated. You're going to walk your hands back, so you're roughly 90 degrees. Push forward and tiptoes if you can,
And from there, all we're going to work on is just dropping through the shoulder blades and then pressing up as high as we can. Right? So drop and then press. Keep the body nice and tight. Weight forward, drop, press. From there, what you can do is add a press up in, pike press, up, press, and back into your next rep. So for every rep, you're adding a quarter rep in.
And that's going to tax your shoulders out a lot more and start to help you build up that extra strength for the extension in your handstands, right? So just an easy way to break it back down. You can also shift your weight more and have more control in that position than you do when you're fully stacked overhead in handstand. That being said, the next progression is to do it in a handstand. So I'd suggest walking yourself up a wall. Unfortunately I have to do this one side on, because I'll go through the window if I try and get the other way. Walk yourself back, and then from there, same principle, get yourself stacked as best as you can. Drop through the shoulder blades, press up as high as you can. Drop and press. So just get a little shift. Each time try to reset your shoulder blades and shape. Keep yourself locked in, nice and tight. Right? Harder than it looks. Once you get used to it, it will make a big difference to your shoulder strength. A bit dizzy now. And your handstands will start to see a lot of improvement. But also for your handstand push-ups, having that movement in your shoulder blade makes a massive difference. If you haven't got it, you are just using arm power and then your kipping power to try and get up. If you've got that extra bit of elevation depression in your shoulder, it's going to make transition between those two positions far easier. Alright, have a go. I hope you enjoy, and yeah, take care.